and welcome to another episode of FooBar. In today's video we are going to talk about, should I take the Developer Associate AWS Certification or the Solution Architect AWS Certification? Which one is for me? If you want to know more about serverless, cloud computing, or software engineer practices in general, subscribe to my channel in the red button below. I post video every Tuesday and every Thursday. So let's get started! So this is another episode in my series, Get Certified with Me. We already did the first certification, the Cloud Practitioner. That was a very easy decision because it was the first one, there was no other option. But now we move to the next layer, the Associate level. And there we have three options. We have the sysadmin, we have the Developer Associate, and we have the Solution Architect. I know sysadmin is maybe not right for me. I worked once in my life as a sysadmin. I don't have much experience on it. And it was not in AWS, it was on real machines. So maybe that's not for me to start. So according to AWS, Solution Architect is for people that have been building architectures on AWS, building scalable, high tolerant, resilience, all these things on AWS for some time. I have been doing that, so yay. But I have been doing it from the serverless perspective. I have been building a lot of applications on serverless, but not that many on the traditional environments like instances and all that stuff. So that's something that scares me a little bit from the Solutions Architect. I know I can learn it, and that's the idea for me to get certified, to learn as much as possible. But also I don't want to get stuck studying for certification for long. And the Developer Associate in the AWS page, it says that it's meant for people that have been developing applications on AWS, cloud native applications, and they know how to code, and they have been doing this, and I have been doing that. So before I got into this question, I was totally sure I will be doing the Solution Architect. That was like the right for me. I was looking, I was reading many web pages, and everybody was like, yes, Solution Architect is the right one. It covers all the services. It will give you an overview on everything, and the developer is like, bah. But I ran into this blog post some weeks ago. So maybe we should go and check the blog post together. So this is the blog post I was talking about that changed my mind about the certification. This is the blog post in Digital Cloud Training, and here he explained about the certification and what you can expect. So it tells a little bit about the exam, and it gets to the Associate Developer Guide, the Developer Associate Exam Guide. And here you can see 22% of the exam is CI/CD pipelines, the code build, code deployed, code pipeline, all that. Elastic Beanstalk, CloudFormation, some decoupling deployment methods. From here, the only thing I have not used is Elastic Beanstalk, but it's extremely simple, so it should not be a problem. From security, 26%, and S3 encryptions, quite straightforward, I have done it. Cognito, I'm very good friends with it. Security best practices, I know them, I know many of them. IAM, KMS, secure authentications, all things I know quite well. 30% serverless deployment code. YAML, my friend. AWS CLI, AWS SDK, API calls, IAM policies. I'm quite familiar with all these things. Then 10% is refactoring, migration to cloud. Well, I imagine some of the migration tools. I'm not sure, I have not studied that part yet. Optimizing apps, elasticity, scalability, refactor legacy apps. I'm not 100% sure what he means with all these, what services or what kind of things. I have not got to that part, but it sounds pretty normal. And then monitoring and troubleshooting, X-Ray, I have used it quite a lot extensively in my serverless projects, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, application logs, failed deployments, performance issues, best practices. Basically, when I look at this guide, I feel that I know almost everything. And that's the reason what makes me want to change to from the Solution Architect to the certification. And then when he continues and he says what to study, Then he says like 10 or 15% of the exam is Lambda. I know that service so well. Invocation types, yes. Notifications, event sources, concurrency, throttling, X-ray, dead queue letters, versions, aliases, blue-green deployment, packaging and deployment, VPCs. I know quite well everything that is here. So this is amazing. 10% of the exam, DynamoDB, scan versus queries, global and secondary indexes, read unique capacities and write unique capacity calculation. Nobody knows how to calculate those. They're horrible, but kind of. Performance issues and best practices, use cases, DynamoDB streams, how to use them with Lambda and API gateway, Dynamo accelerator. All these things I'm quite familiar with. API gateway, 10% of the exam again. And we can continue in validation of cache, integration types, IAM, Cognito authorizer. I have a whole series on these things. Caching, importing. I know. Cognito. I love Cognito. It's one of my favorite services. User pools, identity pools, unauthenticated identities, Cognito Sync, MFA, Web Identity Federation. S3. The best service all. Encryption, S3 transfer acceleration, versioning, copying data, lifecycle rules, things that I know. Identity and access management, again, all the basics of IAM. Elastic Container Service, and here is where we get to things that I never use. I never use Elastic Container Services. I'm not a container person, so I think I deploy one container in my life. I don't have much experience. So here is where I will need to do my bulk of the study, but if you look, by this time, we already reached to 50% when we get to S3 almost. So this is just a bit of the exam and I need to learn it. So it's just a small bit. The same with Elastic Beanstalk. It's there and I need to learn it, but it's not a big thing. CloudFormation, my best friend. CloudWatch, I love it. Developer tools, I have made many videos on these things. CloudFront, we all love CloudFront. We all use it. X-Ray, SQS, Elastic Cache, step functions, parameter stores. If you look at this is a serverless certification. It's so much serverless. And I was so excited when I read this article. So I hope this is true, because when you go to the page of the developer associate in AWS, you can download the exam guide, and there you can see more or less the same table that he had. He has it here, but it doesn't have this breakdown on the services. But we have the recommended AWS knowledge that they recommend: experience coding, high-level programming, understanding on the services, proficiency in deploying, debugging, use of the AWS APIs, SDK, CLI, different AWS services, shared responsibility model, application lifecycle, CI/CD, interact with different AWS services, cloud native application, securities best practice, maintain and deploy and debug code in AWS, proficiency writing serverless applications, and understand containers. And when you go into the details that is under here, it says deployment, CI/CD, Elastic Beanstalk. So here we go to a very similar thing that this person has wrote in their table. So it's like may authenticated calls, write serverless applications. So this makes me think that this is the right certification for me. It's the one that I know the most, and I just need to learn the little. And I'm not saying this to be lazy. I just want to be efficient with my time. So I want to try to get out as many certifications as possible during this time that I'm at home. So if I start studying a lot of things from scratch, that will require more time for me. So if I know something really well that's serverless, then I want to use that to get my certificate developer, learn some new things that then I can go to solutions architect and apply all these things that I learn and learn a little bit more. So here, if I download the exam guide for the solution architect, then we can see that the recommended AWS knowledge is not very descriptive, but if we go to the domain, here is building resilient architectures. This is a lot about patterns. It doesn't talk a little bit more about services, but design high performance architectures, design secure applications, and design cost optimized applications. So here is more from the architect perspective. So I always consider myself more a developer than an architect. I'm an architect, but I've been working as an architect, but I'm really hands-on. So I really believe that the developer associate is right for me. So now you know, I'm going to take the developer associate exam. So now it's time to get starting and to get prepared. So I will be doing this studying process. I will be taking some courses. I might not take the courses in a linear way. I will look at the guides and the white papers and what the courses are suggesting. I really like the course that is available in a free code camp that is free and it's from Exam Pro. I like the way that they explain. I also like the Cloud Guru course, so I might follow those too. But I also like the dumps of exams that they are in Wiz Labs and they are in Cloud Academy, I think is the name. I don't know. I will leave you the link. Cloud Academy, Cloud Training or something like that. I will leave you the link of the place and the name in the screen when I'm editing this. But yeah, those places I will be doing the exams that I think exams are really nice tools that they have in order to test. This second place for exams, besides Wiz Labs, I found it when I was studying for my cloud practitioner. They have a really nice amount of questions and very diverse and very kind of realistic and close to what the exams were. And the same with Wiz Labs, I think they were very close. The Cloud Guru exams, it was not that great. I think the course was really good, but well, I have not tried the cloud practitioner, but for the developer associate I already have studied, the course is way better. And it's nicer than the Wiz Labs. I didn't like the Wiz Labs. It was a little bit boring for me. So I will mix everything up because I have a subscription for all these places and I will pay a little bit extra to get the exams for this other place. So I will make, if you want, when I pass this certification, I can make a little bit more comprehensive guide on my studying mechanisms, but for now I will leave it like here. So that was the video for today. I hope you like it. This was basically why I think this certification is the most serverless of all. So if you're a serverless developer, you might be interested in trying this one out. It should be pretty straightforward for you. The next videos, I might go into some studying parts of the exam. There's a lot of things I have not touched in this channel, so maybe I start covering some particular topics that you might need in order to pass the certification and for me to learn, because I need to learn quite a lot. So I'll see you in the next episode of FooBar. Ciao, ciao!